I want to take this moment and send a special birthday wish to our friend, our brother, the professor. Happy birthday, my man. Congratulations on cheating death another year.
What are you wishing for him? You said a special birthday wish.
What?
You said you're sending him a special birthday wish.
It is a special birthday. It's a special birthday wish.
Yeah. What are you wishing?
It's between me and him.
Okay. Well, hopefully you get it.
Well,
or he gets
it.
Well,
you don't want to send him a special birthday wish?
No, I just
Do you not love him enough to send him a special birthday wish? Yes or no?
I just want to say happy birthday. I'm not wishing to.
I mean, because, there could be a Joe Schmo on the side of the road you could say happy birthday to, but this is the professor we're talking about.
Wishing is something you want to happen. I'm saying happy birthday. I'm making it happen.
I am sending him a very special birthday wish, and my wish is, you know what it is, bud. You know what it is.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Are you listening to the right podcast? Because you're supposed to be listening to Three Guys in a Flick. Are you listening to that right now? Then you're in the right place. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I gotta get off this rock, Chuck. Get back to the mainland. Whatever the hell's going on here, it's bad.
Three guys and a flick with Duncan and John. Dive into the movies well after the dawn. From the good to the bad to the wildly absurd. They give a fuck about films. Their voices are heard.
Welcome back. You are listening to Three Guys in a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, Shutter Island. Beware spoilers. Coming to you from Ashecliffe Hospital for the Criminally Insane, my name is Don. And to my right, we have the comic book guy, John.
Howdy ho.
And coming to us all the way from Ward C is the Professor Ken.
Hello, everybody.
How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I feel good.
Okay.
I feel good.
Yeah, no more headaches?
No, no more headaches.
Are you sure you want to take a couple of these? Here, take a couple of these.
Okay.
Tonight we are talking about Shutter Island. Shutter Island comes to us via the Broncos helmet and was submitted by 3 listeners, Terry S., PJL, and Ariana R. So thank you so much for submitting this movie. This one's for you. Released on February 19th, 2010, Shutter Island was directed by Martin Scorsese. Screenplay by Lata Kalogridis. Based on the book Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, Michelle Williams, Emily Mortimer, Patricia Clarkson, Max von Sydow, and a bunch of other criminally insane patients.
How'd this movie do, Don?
This movie was made for $80 million and brought in $295 million.
So in 2010, Leonardo did 2 mindfuck movies.
Yeah, and I thought about that a lot when I was watching it last night because his character kind of reminded me of Cobb from Inception. However, 2 different films, equally as powerful. I love me some Leo.
Is Inception in the helmet?
Yes.
Because I have never seen that movie.
Oh, just wait for your brains to get blown out of your butt. Had either of you ever seen Shutter Island?
Yes, sir.
What about you there, guy?
First time.
Did you see it in the theater or on video?
I'm confident it was video.
Yeah, me too. Me too. This is actually only the second time I've watched this movie. And yeah, I liked it.
My issue is that, I go on the internet and of course this movie was spoiled a long time ago. I kind of knew the mindfuck at the end of this one, but it was enjoyable to get there and to kind of look for the clues along the way. And I kind of had heard what the ending was going to be, but it wasn't for sure because they said it was up to audience interpretation.
Yeah, the ending is ambiguous on purpose. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are a lot of fan theories out there, but Scorsese and the entire production have debunked all of them and said, no, none of those are real. It's ambiguous on purpose. Mm-hmm. That's what Scorsese wanted to do, and that's what Scorsese did.
This is what our third Scorsese film.
Goodfellas, Cape Fear, The Wolf of Wall Street. I believe so. So this would be our fourth.
Fourth movie, you're right.
Yeah.
Fourth movie.
Yeah. Ironically enough, this is Leo and Martin's fourth movie together.
Yeah, fourth movie, and it's our, I guess they wanted to make Wolf of Wall Street first, but couldn't get the financing for it, so they made this movie first, and then this led into making Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So out of the 4 movies, how would you rank them? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I will start
Highest
at
to lowest.
I will. Yep. I will start at the top with Goodfellas, and then probably either The Wolf of Wall Street, follow very closely by Shutter Island, and then rounding it out with Cape Fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would do it.
I'd be very similar. I might put this one second though, just because I thought it was so well filmed.
Yeah. No, this is a great film for sure. What about you, sir?
Goodfellas, Shutter Island.
I know the other two weren't really your cup of tea.
No, they weren't, and but for very different reasons.
Oh yeah, no, for sure,
Very
for
different reasons. And so, yeah, I think maybe, boy, thinking back, which one would I want to watch more? I would watch Wolf of Wall Street more over Cape Fear.
Really?
I think I agree with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. That kind of shocks me, to be honest with you. But The Wolf of Wall Street, so funny. Listeners, it's a great episode. Go back and listen to it. Actually, go listen to all of them.
There you go.
There you go. So obviously, Martin Scorsese is a
He's a
icon.
He's a giant.
He's a giant of a director. Apple TV has this great documentary on Martin Scorsese. It's 5 parts. I suggest listeners check it out. It's fantastic.
Do you remember what it's called?
Martin Scorsese, I think. I think it's just like his
It's on Apple.
Apple TV. It's absolutely wonderful. Make your son watch it. For sure.
He's probably already seen it.
Yeah, he probably has. So knowing what we know about Scorsese, we know that he is a wonderful director. We know that he uses mood and he knows how to use needle drops, and he's just very proficient at what he does. What would you consider your favorite Martin Scorsese movie of all time?
Goodfellas.
Okay.
I think I would have to go Goodfellas.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, but The Departed is up there, and I really enjoyed Casino, Taxi Driver. I mean, the list goes on and on. But no, I think majority rules. Goodfellas is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, Departed is good, but I've watched The Departed once, and I've seen Goodfellas many times.
Sure.
Well, let's talk about Leonardo in this movie. What do you guys feel about, because he's been in, obviously 4 Scorsese films. Is it more by now, or this was the 4th one at that time?
Yeah, I think it's 5 now. I think because Wolf of Wall Street came out after this.
What do you think of Leonardo?
Well, I will say this. I, for a long time, was not a very big Leo fan because I felt that most of his roles, he was just being Jack from Titanic.
See, I'm right there with you.
But that changes for Don after Django Unchained, Inception, The Departed, The Aviator. There's so many. My eyes kind of opened up, and I really enjoy Leo as an actor. One Battle After Another. I mean, I think the kid's really talented, and he's probably, I don't want to say one of the last true movie stars, but I mean, he's up there.
Do you remember what TV series he started on?
Growing Pains, baby.
Yeah, I remember him all the way back then. For me, I like him as an actor, but I still can't get over his baby face. He he looks so young, even though he's gotten older. He looks so young and not haggard, because he's supposed to be, like in this one, he's kind of that Teddy, the haggard police detective kind of thing, or in The Departed or any of these other movies. And I always just see Leonardo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
The kid from Growing Pains.
What'd you think of Leo?
Well, like I was pointing out, I look at him and I feel like that it's a little bit like Tom Cruise. And what I get from Leo is I feel like that Leo is just playing Leo, and he's a versatile actor, absolutely. But I feel like he's kind of sort of playing the same guy in all of his different roles.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But I don't sit there and stare at the screen and go, That's Leo. That's Leo. I don't do that.
See, I'm
Well,
the
that's good
opposite.
because that's distracting.
That's
Yeah.
what I do is I get distracted because I look at it and I go, oh, that's Leo from every movie I've seen him in.
I do that with that fucker Affleck for sure. There's Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Even as Batman.
Yeah. So, he's really good in this. Absolutely. And I totally buy what he's selling. And he sells it very well. And, his subtle nuances in, his uneasiness about willing to accept what he is immersed in, it just, it's really good. It's like, should we trust these?
Mm-hmm.
Should we trust these people? Should we trust these feelings? Should we trust what he's thinking? Or is it a mind fuck? Or what's going on here?
Oh, yeah. He does a great job. And he sells me.
Yeah.
For sure. 2014, I ever tell you guys I was walking down a street in New York and I see Leo, Ethan Suplee, and Lucas Haas walking right toward me. And the first thing I think of is, wow, Leo's kind of short. He's not much taller than I am. And I'm not
yeah?
tall. Yeah, no, for real. So we walk by each other and we just kind of say, hey, what's up? So I'm not one of those guys that's going to rush up to him and go, oh my God, it's Leo. Even though on the inside, I'm fucking going,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's Leo.
Inside, you're fangirling all over the place.
Yeah.
But on the outside, you're not even saying sup.
That's right.
And
you
what-
you got to keep it cool.
And what year was this?
2014.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that's why you didn't invite him to be on the show.
There you go.
Mark Ruffalo. I had a little bit of issues with him in this movie. I kept thinking, gosh, he feels like a fish out of water. He's not playing this movie like he is this character. And I thought at the end of the movie, that made sense. He's playing a guy who's not really a U.S. Marshal. So he is a fish out of water.
Yeah, no, the clues going back and watching it now are so brilliantly interwoven throughout the story. With Mark Ruffalo, I don't know what it is, but there's something with his lip. I feel like he always has a chew in, and it distracts me every fucking time. Even him as the Hulk. I think he's a great actor. He was really good in this, but there's something about his fucking lip that just I can't not look at it.
All right.
So, what do you think of Ruffalo?
I thought he was good. I liked him. And, it's in hindsight after watching the movie, to its conclusion this time around that I'm able to understand what the hell is his problem when he is turning over his sidearm.
Oh, yeah.
Hands the whole holster over.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. It's because that's not who he is.
That's right. He's not really a cop.
For me, he was just pretty much the only character I could see being replaced in this movie with just about almost any other actors. Like Robert Downey Jr. was actually up for that role. And I could see him doing the role as good or possibly better.
Too young.
No, 2010. Downey's already doing Iron Man.
I think he should be older.
Who?
That character?
Mark Ruffalo looks older than I think Downey Jr. would have looked younger.
Oh, I think I disagree. I think Downey Jr. looks older, but that's just me. But Ruffalo writes a heartfelt letter to Scorsese, and next thing you know,
begs to be in the movie.
yeah, and boom, here he is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it really is. I'm telling you, watch that documentary. Scorsese, I have a whole new appreciation for that director. Ben Kingsley.
Loved him in this.
I thought he was fantastic.
He was great.
He is good in pretty much everything he does. I mean, the other movie we reviewed with him was Sneakers.
Uh-huh. I was just
Even in
thinking,
that
we just
movie,
did one.
He wasn't even in that movie a lot, and we still loved him in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job in this movie, making you think in the beginning he's the villain, but in the end, he's really a hero trying to help the character. He's the good guy.
Which is funny because I never saw him as the villain because his compassion always comes out. But no, I thought he played it wonderfully. Michelle Williams.
She's not in it a whole lot, but in the parts that she was in, I thought she was okay. Up until the end when we actually get to see the lake scene and everything, I thought she played almost a psycho perfectly. I thought she did a good job of that denial in her eyes. I don't know how to put it.
I'm typically not a huge Michelle Williams fan. I didn't like her in The Greatest Showman, but here, I think because she plays well off of Leo, and with what she was given and just the subject matter, I thought she did pretty well. I bought it, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did fine. She didn't stand out in any way to me, but yeah, she did fine.
Max von Sydow.
Underused. If you're going to put Max von Sydow in a movie, I feel like he needs to be more in the movie.
Have you ever heard the phrase "less is more"?
No.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I thought he was wonderful. Just his voice and his presence.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's classic Hollywood.
Did you think at any time he was going to exercise Teddy
No,
and bring out Andrew?
no, because that's a different movie.
Okay.
And ironically enough, this is the fourth film that we've done with him. Exorcist, Flash Gordon, and What Dreams May Come. So, there you have it.
Oh, What Dreams May Come. Sorry, I heard something else.
Wet Dreams May Come?
No, he heard the right. He's in both movies. So, I like it.
Which was his best role? Would you say it was Flash Gordon or Exorcist?
Oh, that is such a hard fucking question. The Exorcist. This guy's fucking smoking more weed than I am.
I loved him as Ming. I mean, he'll always be Ming to me.
He'll always be Ming to me. Anybody else in this cast jump out at you?
Mildly Ted Levine.
I was kind of surprised to see him, and I think he's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah, we get to see him just a little bit. The one place we do see him, he has a bit of dialogue, and it's interesting dialogue that he has that he delivers.
Yeah, when they're in the Jeep.
Yep.
He's the same guy from Fallen, right?
No.
I thought he was one of the...
Ted Levine is Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
And he's the warden.
Yes.
Who you're thinking of is
The guy
Elias
plays Andrew.
Cotates.
Yeah.
Elias
Yeah.
Cortez.
Thank you. That guy. He was in Fallen.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, this movie has no official or has no original score. Every song you hear in this movie is a needle drop.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which disqualifies it from becoming eligible for an Academy Award, which I think is, maybe one of the reasons why this is the only movie with Leo and Martin that hasn't been nominated.
That's what I was surprised about, because when I went, that makes sense now, because when I went to look up any awards it won, it wasn't even nominated.
No. Yeah. So I think I don't know if it disqualifies the film as a whole or just in that category.
It's got to be just that category.
That's what I was thinking too. So maybe Hollywood and the Academy didn't like the downerness of it, but I mean, worse movies have been nominated and even won an Academy Award. So looking at you, Suicide Squad.
I am hearing this little voice in my head saying, I think it's trivia time.
Are you hearing it, or is it just an elaborate role play that you've fallen into?
You're only going to think you won.
Oh, I like where he's going with that.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. Question number 1. What does the scrap of paper read that Daniels found under a board in Rachel Solandro's?
John.
John.
The Law of 4. Who is 67?
Point to John. Question number 2. When Rachel is first interviewed by Daniels, he mentions that there has been a sighting of a known communist subversive passing out literature. When she recounts the previous day, what is the first thing she says happened?
Dawn. She took a bath.
No.
Oh.
Somebody handed her some literature?
No.
She took a shit.
She made breakfast for Jim and the children. That's how she started her day.
I remember that.
Question number 3. Daniels finds Dr. Cowley in a makeshift office in the lighthouse upon bursting through the door. What does Cowley first say to Daniels?
John?
No, he doesn't say John.
He says, hey, partner.
No.
Gosh, I know. He says the same thing over and over again to him.
So Daniels busts in on Crawley, right? That's what we're doing. Okay.
Yep, at the lighthouse.
And Crawley, and you're asking what Crawley says?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know what you're saying.
He says, Don't shoot. I'm not armed.
Before you answer, he starts with, "Hey, baby." Something about like, what? Why are you wet?
Hey, baby, why are you all wet?
Something like he starts with baby. I know that.
He says, "Why are you all wet, baby?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Mark Ruffalo. I get those two characters mixed up.
So did the audience.
Question number 4. Dr. Callie tells Daniels that he's having withdrawals from chloropromazine, which he's been given for the past what amount of time?
Dawn, 2 years.
I will accept that answer. He says 24 months.
Oh, thanks.
Question number 5. When Laeddis asks Dr. Sheehan, "What's our next move at the end of the movie?" what does he say?
Dawn.
Yes.
He doesn't say anything. He looks over at Ben Kingsley and shakes his head.
No, he does say something. Hey,
Okay, well then, asshole, what does he say?
is that your final answer?
Yeah, asshole, what did he say?
He basically goes back into his Teddy mode and says something like, "We have to interview the patients."
Well, that's what Teddy says.
Oh, yes.
What does Dr. Sheehan say?
We should go to the lighthouse.
Let's round him up because we're going to blow the lid off this joint.
No. The correct answer is, "You tell me."
Oh, and then he turns.
And then he says, "We got to find a way to get off this rock, Chuck."
God damn it. You tell me.
So this week we end in a tie.
Congratulations, buddy. I think I won. In 1954, U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels and his new partner, Chuck All, arrive at Ashecliffe Hospital, a psychiatric facility for the criminally insane, located on Shutter Island in Boston Harbor. They've been sent to investigate the disappearance of Rachel Solando, a patient who was committed after drowning her 3 children. Right away, something feels off. The staff, led by Dr. John Cawley and Dr. Jeremiah Naring, seem guarded and uncooperative. Teddy and Clark learn that Rachel's doctor, Dr. Lester Sheehan, conveniently left on vacation right after she vanished, making the whole situation feel even more suspicious. As Teddy digs deeper, he begins suffering migraines, strange visions, and flashbacks to his time as a soldier during the liberation of Dachau. He also has vivid dreams of his dead wife, Dolores, who was killed in a fire started by a man named Andrew Laeddis. Teddy eventually admits to Chuck that he has another reason for taking the case. He believes Andrew Laeddis is being held somewhere on the island, and he wants to find him. Then, just as the investigation gets more confusing, Rachel Solando suddenly reappears, but when she sees Teddy, she believes he is her husband.
So right away, this movie kind of just starts throwing clues at us right and left and kind of foreshadowing what's going on. My biggest question right in the beginning of the movie is he meets his partner, Chuck, for the first time on the boat. Why wouldn't he have met Chuck on the dock waiting for the boat?
That's a good question. I thought the first scene that you see him, clearly he's throwing up, right? And he's having a bad reaction. He's getting seasick. So right away we know he doesn't like the water. But my first thought was his suit's really baggy on him. He didn't feel.
Well, clothes back
That was
then,
another clue too.
clothes back then, they were always baggier.
Not on Ruffalo or any of the other guards.
Yeah, it was almost as if they had found a costume for him to wear.
Yeah, I mean, we know that now, but yeah, no, for sure. It was an interesting bit of dialogue. The only thing that really kind of kept my attention, which was kind of bad, was every time they would show a medium shot from the side, the way they were heading, Leo's tie was blowing the wrong way. And so it felt off to me, and I don't know if that was a continuity error or what was going on, but it caught my attention. And then come to find out later, everything is intentional. So, yeah.
I liked how the movie opened to the credits, and we have this uneasy, almost eerie music, and then you get the card Boston Harbor Island, and then Shutter Island. It's just like, wow, okay, this is very sobering.
Did the opening tune ring a bell?
Potentially, I can't tell you where, but
Shining.
I was going to guess that because I had read somewhere that The Shining played a big part in this movie because they wanted that music, which people interpret from The Shining, to, create the unease, to also create the same thing in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about all it took from The Shining was the tune. But yeah, very reminiscent, very in your face.
Yeah, and it's just this ominous music as we are shown approaching Shutter Island.
Right.
The other thing I caught too is when we get that first, I think, placard that comes up that says it's Boston Harbor Islands, 1954. My first thought was this is right after the end of World War II. So
sure.
That's going to obviously play some impact on our characters because they just came from war.
So they arrive at the island, and the captain, he's like, he's eager to get going. Why are you so eager to get going? Well, because of the incoming storm.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And so Chuck and Teddy get off the boat. They meet the assistant warden. He's there to greet them.
Did you notice that how all the guards were kind of anxious and all armed and kind of they were a little bit afraid of Teddy at this point? I thought, at first I thought, well, it's because they're hiding something and they don't want investigators. They don't want U.S. Marshals on the property. But now it makes more sense. They've got this inmate who's role playing, so they've got to keep a closer eye on him.
Yeah, there was definitely something off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Teddy, he spots this right off the bat because he says, "You boys seem a little on edge, Mr. McPherson." Right now, Marshal, we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very much like that. And then the car ride up to the facility, as we approach the building, and then you get that one shot as we approach the gate where the camera is out in front of the car, and we're approaching the second gate and the walls are passing by. I tell you, when I watched it the first time and I watched it again this time, it's this feeling of, are we ever going to get out of here? Or is this where our journey ends at this facility?
The first thing I noticed as they were coming in is he says, Teddy mentions something about the electric fences. And Chuck says, well, how would you know? And he goes, I've seen something similar. And there, now you're like, it is similar. But, it was just the little nuances that kept happening.
Yeah, and the music continues to build, and it's just so uneasy, because, okay, anyway, we get a quick rundown. Ward A, that's where the males, and then the camera snaps. He does this a couple of times where the camera whips, right? And Ward B, that's the females.
Right.
And then we get a Ward C, that's where the most dangerous criminals.
Patience.
We also get that creepy lady who kind of waves at Teddy. Do you think she was one of the lobotomies? She was one of the violent patients who was lobotomized?
Yeah.
The way she kind of had that bloodshot eyes and the...
Yes, I think that she was. And as they are walking up...
she does the shush thing.
Yeah, she gestures, her finger over her lips, the gesture of shh.
Yeah. And there's also another patient who recognizes Teddy, and they kind of nod at each other. And so that's yet another clue.
I kept thinking the reason why she shushed, I thought at first it was a little weird, a little odd, but looking back on it, it's probably because, especially if she's been lobotomized or whatever, they were all told to keep quiet and not to reveal that Teddy is Andrew. So she's just going along and saying shush like she's not been told not to talk.
So we meet Dr. Cowley, and we are brought up to speed about patient Rachel Solando.
And the meeting between Collie and Teddy and Chuck, it's kind Teddy is very standoffish, if you will. And he keeps telling people, well, he's upset that he's a federal marshal, right? But they take his gun at the entrance, and he's like, dude, I'm a federal marshal. You can't take my fucking gun. And I like how the assistant warden's like, well, the facility gets final say. Right?
Executive Order 319.
So he's already on edge. And so now that he's talking to Cowley, Cowley's not exactly being upfront and forthcoming with a lot of information. There's a lot of we'll see.
So he asks to see Rachel's room. And so they go to this very Spartan room where there's essentially nothing in there.
And the setup is she just kind of disappeared without a trace, right? She just disappeared into thin air. And Teddy's like, I don't know, right?
The rumor that I read, or I don't know if this has been verified, is the room that they take him to is actually one of Teddy's room, and that's why the note is in the room. He wrote the note to himself.
And those shoes did not look like women's shoes.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Because when I looked at those shoes, it's like, they look blocky.
Yeah, they look like men's dress shoes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, yeah, no, it's totally Teddy's room.
So the marshals, they decide they're going to head out, and they want to check up and see what the officers are looking at along the coastline. Did you find anything? And they're sort of haphazardly looking, but no, she's out here in her bare feet. There's no way she could be out here on these rocks.
Well, the other thing that they reveal, I think, when they first are talking about Rachel, is they reveal Rachel's background, that she had drowned her 3 kids and was in denial about it and everything. So right there, they start the foreshadowing. This whole movie is foreshadowing, who Andrew really is.
Oh, yeah.
And then he asks, what about that lighthouse there? Oh, that's our sewage treatment plant.
Which we know is not.
So we cut to Daniels, and he is interviewing the orderlies.
And they are talking to him, but not really talking to him. And then finally he's talking to one of the nurses, right? And she tells him about the last group therapy session that Solando was in.
Right.
And watching it now as she's talking about it and they talk about Sheehan, she's always looking at Ruffalo.
Yep.
Anytime anybody mentions that doctor, they always look at Chuck.
And it's such a subtle little thing that you will not get until you watch the whole movie and then go back and watch it again.
Yeah, because when you see it the second time around, it's like, oh yeah, look at that. Everybody is like,
Same thing happens with Mrs. Kearns when she gets interviewed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, wait, so this is Dr. Sheehan? So look, what about Dr. Sheehan? I need to talk to him. Oh, well, he's on vacation. What? Isn't that convenient? I got to talk to him right now.
And then they try to go make a phone call, but the storm's coming in. No phone calls are getting out.
Do you think the storm was real?
Yes.
Or do you think the storm was in his head?
Oh, I think it was real.
Because another theory that has come out is that during the whole chaos and everything chaotic, when he's still trying to figure things out, there's a storm going on. As soon as he starts to piece it all together and starts to come to the realization, that's when the sun comes out and he starts heading towards the lighthouse. So some people are saying that the storm may have all been his head. That, and when the storm happens, right after the storm happens, there's trees and branches and everything all over the place. But as soon as, again, he starts coming together and starts figuring it out, all of that destruction disappears. It's all instantly gone. And they're saying it wouldn't have been possible for the people to clean it up that fast.
Yeah. Well, I always have to take what they say with a grain of salt. And I mean, it makes sense, but
I certainly didn't get that vibe.
The way they play it is, I felt like it was really happening, and whether it's in his head or not, I mean, it doesn't change the meaning of the storms for me.
Well, for me, the reason why I lean towards that is with a big storm like that going on, they would not have let him run out into the storm alone and be alone out in this storm.
Okay, well, there you go.
So the marshals, they decide to join Dr. Cowley for an evening drink, and we get to see the posh layout. And this is where we also get to meet Dr. Nehring.
What do you guys think of this bit? I forgot that Max von Sydow was even in this.
I got the impression right away from him that he was ready to lobotomize knowing what we know, he was already of the mind of this guy's a lost cause. He's violent. We just need to get rid of him.
Yeah, I felt like he was the opposite to Ben Kingsley.
Because they were certainly sparring.
Yeah, for sure.
So we also get a second flashback that happens to Daniels where he is back in World War II. And I was thinking that the music that we're hearing during their evening drinks, as we zoom in on the record player, I ponder maybe that music, he heard it last time when he was in that German, in Dachau.
Actually, he wouldn't have. And I actually looked up the music. which is interesting because he accuses the doctor of being a Nazi and being one of the doctors that may have worked on patients. That music was composed by a Jewish composer. And because of that, it was banned in all of Germany. You could not listen to it.
As soon as you said Jewish composer, why would any German officer be listening to Jewish music?
Exactly. So that was supposed to signify this guy likely was not a German officer because they were not allowed to listen to this music.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that was the feeling that I got, that maybe he heard this last time around when he's watching that officer
Well, they do cut
bleed
to,
out on the floor.
Well, they do cut to the room, and there is a record playing. So, I mean, it's implied.
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't catch right away the officer on the floor had shot himself until they said later on it was an attempted suicide that he failed at.
yeah, no, that doesn't come out until later.
Yeah.
I assumed that he just got caught in the crossfire and Leo was going to finish it.
But it was interesting the way Leo just watched him die. Just
Yeah.
kind of watched him suffer, watched him die.
Well, I took it as he walked by all those frozen bodies, and he is looking at this officer thinking, "You motherfucker, you totally got what you deserved."
No, yeah, absolutely.
I did not connect or piece together at all that this had anything like his, I figured there was something obviously up with Teddy. I didn't figure out that his craziness had come because of his wife. I thought World War II had completely destroyed his mind and they were trying to rebuild, this whole place was trying to rebuild war veterans' minds.
No, I think it comes out later that it was the war caused him to drink.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's where I was, that he was a broken man and he was heavy into alcohol, and that was the one punch, and the two punch is losing his family.
Right, because at this dinner or evening of drinks, they offer him alcohol, and he's like, no, thank you.
Did you catch that? Obviously there was, symbolism in fire and water throughout this whole movie. Anytime there was fire present was when when Teddy was getting deeper and deeper into this illusion of who he thinks he is. Whenever water was present was when he was being drawn back out of it. Or there would be some denial in the sense of water.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when because for most of the movie, he's not even lighting his own cigarettes. He doesn't even have his own cigarettes. It's always someone presenting him with fire and then also kind of presenting him with something that was getting him deeper into this whole mythology of what was going on, like the cave scene and anything we'll get to. But when water started coming back in is when he was starting to become more coherent.
Yeah.
So the evening turns abruptly sour when he is saying, I really do need to see those personnel files. And the doctors flat out refuse. No, you cannot look at the personnel files. Absolutely not.
And so Teddy's like, all right, well, fuck you. We're out of here on the next ferry in the morning.
Yep, we're going to leave here in the morning.
That's right. And so they go to the barracks where they're staying.
And he's sitting there trying to figure out, what is this law of 4 and who is 67 note?
Right.
And then he has a dream, and he's with his wife confronting him about all of his drinking that he's been doing. And then we have this bit where she's just like, I'm just bones in a box, and you're here to wake up.
We also do get another big foreshadow, another big clue in this dream sequence when she says Rachel is here, and she also tells him Andrew is here, which basically she is saying to him, I am Rachel, you are Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, and it's a really interesting thing because, we see all that fluttering. It's like, are they, what are they? Maybe they're leaves, maybe they're not leaves. But then, by the time we get to the end and then we see, you see the blood coming through the hands, and now it's ash. It's coming down hard.
Right. It's a mixture of both, right? It's It's the fire he made up, and it's the water that actually drowned the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, turns out the inclement weather, they are forced to stay. And so the marshals, now they want to interview the patients in Rachel's therapy session.
Right. And so the first patient is this dude, and he's asking questions.
She asked me for a glass of water.
Yeah, the dude was weird. He said he was out there a little bit, right? And so Leo decides to start scribbling on a piece of paper that was clearly agitating this guy.
I thought it was a weird choice of something to do, but it's almost like he knew this would agitate the
How to
guy.
push his button.
Yeah, subconsciously he did know.
Yeah.
So
That was another clue for
Another
me.
clue,
Yeah.
right? And in this scene, whenever you see Leo, you'll have a guard behind him. And whenever you see a patient, there's a guard behind them. But when you see Chuck, there's no guard behind them. So that's Scorsese subtly telling you, the second time you watch this, you're going to know that Teddy is Andy.
There was a scene here that I had to rewind a couple times because I wasn't even thinking about the mind fuck or anything like that, was when Mrs. Kearns is talking to him and she's doing anything and she asks for a glass of water. She goes to drink the water, and when Teddy is looking at her, when Teddy's not looking directly at her or someone else looking at her, she has the glass of water in her hand. When Teddy is looking at her directly and she goes to drink, there's no glass of water in her hand.
Yeah, he can't do water.
Yeah, he just can't handle the truth, so he can't see the glass of water.
Yeah. At first I thought it was a continuity error, but then I thought, no, that's pretty fucking big, right? So it had to mean something.
That told me right there, I need to pay a lot more attention to what is and isn't in each scene.
Well, and the camera work is telling us this as well, because we get a slow pull in on Mrs. Kearns, and we get in pretty tight to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, it's like, pay close attention here. And this is, once again, we get to see her eyes darting over to the doctor.
Yeah, when they ask about the doctor, like, when's the last time you saw this doctor or something like that, she looks right over at him, right over at Chuck.
Right. And then she also writes in a book, Run.
Yeah, because I think I got the idea that she was friends of Andrew in the hospital, and she was protecting him, because especially when Teddy said, "Do you know Andrew?"
Oh, yeah.
She got very, choked up a bit, like she cared about him.
Oh, I thought she got more nervous.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's not supposed to say anything. The guards are watching. She's got to be spot on, and he brought up his name, and she's got to play like, "Oh no, I don't know."
But why would she, if she didn't care about him, why would she write "run" into the journal?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I thought she's because she wants him to keep being Teddy. She wants him to come back. She doesn't want him to get lobotomized.
Well, maybe.
Then this is right after this scene. This is where we get Chuck and Teddy talking about why he's really there and what he's what's really going on. Which is, he reveals he purposely got on this case so that he could find Andrew.
Right, and because he shared or he knew a different dude who told him about Andrew, and Chuck's like, "Okay, so let's say he is here. Were you going to kill him?" And then we go into more of the backstory or the flashback, and he says, and Leo says, "I was at Dachau, and I've seen this, that, and the other. I'm done with killing."
Yeah, because
no, I'm not going to kill him.
While they were at Dachau, he reveals they killed a bunch of German soldiers. They were supposed to capture them, arrest them, but they ended up killing them, which was historically accurate. That did happen at concentration camps when the U.S. troops came in.
Yeah. Yep.
So the marshals, they decided they want to go check out the cemetery. And the storm is really raging, getting really, really bad. And so they end up having to take shelter in a crypt. So Teddy, he shares with Chuck about what happened at Dachau when they were there and how they gunned down all of the German soldiers that they found there. And so this is clearly a burden that is weighing him down.
Did you catch the issue with the dead soldiers that pisses off a lot of people? There was one soldier, and I'm going to have to go back and watch this. There was one actor who was on the ground, looked up at the camera and smiled right as he was supposedly being shot. And apparently that's something they didn't catch in the editing. And so a lot of people are pissed off that this actor would do this.
Maybe that's why I didn't get nominated.
That's probably it.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's a curious thing when you watch the soldiers gunning down the Germans, because the camera, we are on a dolly, right? We're on a track and we're going to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And as we are moving along, looking at all the soldiers being shot, it's a little bit like dominoes, because the soldiers continue to fall continuously in our camera frame.
Right.
Which means that they're not falling at the same time. So for artistic reasons, I understand why he did it, but if you think about it practically, everybody should have probably been falling at about the same time rather than like dominoes falling.
Maybe. And so they are talking in this crypt, and the assistant warden shows up, picks him up, and he's annoyed because it's stormy out, or not. And they take him back to the
Ashecliffe.
and now they find out Rachel has shown up.
I thought it was funny too that when they take them back, obviously all their clothes are wet, so now they've got to get into orderly clothes, which fits better. I thought maybe this was just his patient clothes.
Well, it is his patient clothes, but I thought the same thing, right? He's got to give up the real clothes, and I'm thinking, oh, now they got him. Right?
So Chuck, he hears about George Noyce, how he's a nice college kid, but he's a socialist, and then it turns out that he kills guys, and he begs for the electric chair because he doesn't want to get it put back into a mental institution where he fears he's going to be lobotomized.
Yeah, so he'd rather take death. And then as they are talking to what they think is Rachel, they're pretty much telling you what Teddy is, right? She has her own reality, and she murdered her 3 kids. But she still thinks that they're alive, and she thinks that they're she thinks that she's at home, and everybody around her are delivery men and maids and all that kind of good stuff.
This was a weird scene for me because she starts to get more personable with him and goes up and like hugs him.
Yeah.
Like she's morphing into his wife. And I kept thinking, is this a scene that's really happening, or is this another one of his dreams about his wife? But doesn't his wife show up at some point, or is that another later scene?
Now, she doesn't show up here.
Okay.
And so because this is a role play, we have to assume that all of this is real.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just thought it was weird that they let her, he's supposed to be a U.S. Marshal. They let her approach him and hug him.
Yeah. What's his name? Kingsley even says, sorry about that. I didn't know what she was going to do. I didn't step in sooner. I wanted to see how that played out. So he actually addresses it.
This is where we have Teddy explaining about what happens when you get lobotomized. You turn into ghosts, and you have these secret experiments that they do on people trying to figure out how things work in the human brain and how to make these guys do things.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are subtly being told that Daniels is actually trying to blow the lid off this place because of the secret experiments that they're doing, and that's why we haven't been able to trust them.
Right. Teddy becomes convinced that Ashecliffe is hiding something much bigger than a missing patient. He breaks into the restricted Ward C, hoping to find Andrew Laeddis, but instead meets George Noyce, a patient who seems to know more about Teddy than he should. Noyce warns him that the doctors are experimenting on patients and performing lobotomies in the lighthouse. He also tells Teddy not to trust anyone, including Chuck. Teddy and Chuck later make their way toward the lighthouse, but they get separated on the cliffs. Teddy thinks he sees Chuck's body on the rocks below, but when he climbs down, he finds a cave instead. Inside is a woman claiming to be the real Rachel Solando. She tells Teddy she was once a psychiatrist at Ashecliffe and was locked away after discovering the hospital was conducting mind control experiments. She warns him that the doctors will use his trauma, his headaches, and his paranoia to make it look like he's having a psychotic break. When Teddy returns to the hospital, he asks about Chuck. Dr. Cawley tells him something terrifying. Teddy arrived on the island alone. At this point, Teddy is convinced Chuck has been taken to the lighthouse, and the whole island is part of the conspiracy to trap him.
Well, we get that the storm has caused, I guess, a lot of flooding. So we have patients and guards all kind of running around outside. So this, I think, is the distraction Teddy uses to get into Ward C.
Yeah, him and Chuck, they just kind of mosey on in, right?
Yeah, and there's something about a patient that kind of jumps Teddy or something, and then so Teddy chases him.
Yep. And as he is walking through the Ward C, we stumble upon an inmate who is sitting in the corner.
Is that the James Earl, or what's his name?
James Earl Jones? No, dude, he's black.
Earl.
Jackie Hale Early.
Jackie Hale Early.
Yeah. And if you notice, Leo now can use fire.
Yeah.
Because he's lighting the matches, holding them up, trying to see in the dark. And I thought that this was a interesting conversation.
This is basically, when you rewatch it, George is telling him all the truths. He's our truth teller in this movie. He is revealing the whole thing to him by telling him what's really going on. But it sounds like he's talking into the whole Teddy thing. But he's telling us everything.
And I think one of the bits that is not so subtle that Scorsese does is when Teddy asks George, "Who beat the shit out of you?" Mm-hmm. And George looks at him and says, "You." But it's implied that it's like a metaphor or something. But in reality, no, it really was Andrew that kicked his ass.
Yeah, because it sounds like, him working with Teddy is what got him beat up.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that him talking to George was the most compelling yet, because he's trying to figure out who he's talking to. Is he talking to Andrew or is he talking to Teddy?
Oh, George's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so having this happen, this is where it becomes, I think, very blatant that we have complete uncertainty in our protagonist, and maybe our protagonist isn't really who he says he is.
Oh, yeah.
Because he has filled so much doubt into Teddy's world, and he also tells us, the audience, that if things don't straighten out, you're gonna get lobotomized.
You're a rat in a maze.
Yeah,
is what he's telling him.
Yeah, he basically tells him that you're in this whole scenario. You are being tricked.
Right.
And he says that, they're going to take you to the lighthouse and you're going to cut your head open, and you can't dig up truth so you can't dig up the truth and find Laeddis. So which one is it going to be?
Right.
And so here, this is where he decides, well, I got to make a choice. And there's Dolores in the cell. And so clearly, he's over the edge, because Dolores is now showing up in his present waking life.
Yeah.
Whereas before, she was only in his dreams.
Another thing we get too throughout a lot of this movie, especially in his dream sequences, is that little girl that we're led to believe he saw her body at, the concentration camp.
Right.
But it turns out that that's his daughter, asking him constantly, "Why didn't you save us? Why weren't you there?"
Right.
Yeah. And so that really hits home later on.
And I love it how present George was in the moment when he sees Teddy, looking in another area of the cell, and he says, "You got to let her go." And he's like, "I can't." And so he's present enough to understand that he's seeing his wife.
Sure.
And then what does he say after that? He says, "Then you'll never leave this island."
And so Teddy makes his way outside. Him and Chuck are looking around, and
they decide they're going to go to the lighthouse because he's thinking that's where Laeddis has got to be.
And Chuck's like, "Dude, I don't want to go to the fucking lighthouse." And Leo says, "So don't go." And Leo makes his way toward the lighthouse. And he gets to like the edge or whatever, and there's no path. So he's all pissed off, right?
Again, this is symbolism that he's on the edge of a breakthrough.
And I'm thinking, look at that. How would people have regular access to this place? Because you don't see any footpaths whatsoever.
And I'm thinking, do you need a boat, or how do you get there, right?
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, Teddy goes back and Chuck is missing.
And you see that cigarette on the edge of the cliff.
Sitting on the edge of the cliff. Oh, another thing, I loved how much they smoked in this movie. Everywhere. It didn't matter when.
So he gets back to the cliff, and then he looks down at the rocks down below. Oh, no. Is that Chuck?
And so he climbs down.
And I kept thinking, that's wet, slippery rock. How the hell is he keeping his grip on that all the way down?
Good question. And this was another bit where I was watching it, and I know Leo is just climbing down like a rubber face rock because it kind of looked like it, but you kind of got to go with it. And when he gets down, he sees what he thought was Chuck's body, but it's not.
It's just a pattern on the rock.
Right.
Yep. It's a little bit of that pareidolia.
But this is where he looks up and sees the fire, the light coming from the cave.
Right.
And so he climbs up to meet the real, quotes, air quotes, Rachel Saldana.
This is where the fire really came in as the symbolism, because everything that she tells him is a lie, and you can tell that because they have the fire in the cave.
And clearly this is so fantastical out there that it is not real.
No, there's no way.
Yep. No way this is real.
Yeah. And what she says does make sense, though, but it makes sense from someone who could possibly be losing their mind, because she says, have you taken their drugs? You're smoking your own cigarettes. They are fucking with you.
Everything is drug that you are doing.
You are fucked, right? You're not going to get out of here. And he's like, I'm a U.S. fucking marshal. And she's like, I was a fucking psychiatrist. Look what they did to me.
She even points out that his hands are shaking because he's coming off of the drugs they've been giving him.
The palsy comes next.
But really, it's because he's not taking the drugs. They haven't given him any drugs since he started this whole scenario, and that's why his hands are shaking.
Yeah, he's going through withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
Withdrawals suck.
Yeah. And so having this happen, she spins this elaborate, this just super elaborate story about what is this narrative, what is happening on Shutter Island to his narrative.
Right.
Yeah, and they're trying to create super soldiers who don't have fear and will be very cooperative by lobotomizing them, basically.
Right. And
I would say, and it's supposed to kind of give us, okay, so now we were thinking all along that maybe Teddy was really, insane and blah. Now there's a new twist that maybe he is right, and maybe that's what's really happening.
it definitely puts the question in your head.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yep.
And so he gets ready to leave, or he falls asleep, whatever. And she's like, get out of here. They're going to look for you, which means they're going to find me. And he's like, I'll come back for you. And she's like, fuck off. I move out during the day and I never stay in the same place twice at night. And then you're going, oh, this is horseshit. Right.
And he asks, have you seen my friend? And she's like, Marshall, you have no friends.
Got no friends. And, he looks hurt and he leaves. And this is where he climbs up and he catches a ride with
The warden.
And this is that bit of dialogue where the warden just like, you know what, dude, you're a violent man. You don't think you are, but you are. You want to know how I know? Because I'm a violent man and we can smell each other.
That's a weird conversation.
It kind of was. And even at the end when he's getting out, there was just kind of the warden was just kind of like, fuck you, dude. I know who you are. It's not going to go the way you think it is. And I'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah. So he's back at Ward A and he walks in, but everything is unlocked, and you're like, what the fuck? Because there's that sign right there, all of these gates must remain locked at all times and they're all open.
Yeah. Yep. And it feels like that they're putting everything back together after the hurricane. We were told that the inmates and everything had to, or the serious inmates had to be chained during the hurricane. And Kingsley's like, no, you're going to fucking die. But they're all coming back in after the storm. And he's doing his kind of darndest not to be noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But Collie walks up to him, says, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
What were you doing out there?
Just taking a look at your laboratory, your island. It's good stuff.
Is this where he also mentions that he was looking for Chuck? And
Have you seen my partner?
He's
And
like-
then he's like, you didn't come with a partner. Bum, bum, bum.
Wait a minute. Was Chuck a figment of his imagination this whole time?
That's where I went. I went right to, so maybe people weren't interacting with Chuck. I have to go back and look now.
Like The Sixth Sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yep.
So it's at this point, or it might have even been earlier, but I remember when I first watched it, I knew something was off. I knew either he was going to be dead, it was going to be all in his mind, blah, blah, blah.
I always figured Chuck was in on it, but go on.
But, and it was here where I was like, we'll see what happens. But I'm pleasantly surprised with the actual twist because it wasn't bad.
Yep. And so we have Cowley. So tell me about your partner. And what does Teddy say? What partner?
Because he's buying into it. He's thinking, all right, these fuckers have him at the lighthouse. I'm going to play along and I'm going to be a good U.S. Marshal. Determined to find Chuck and expose the truth, Teddy fights his way to the lighthouse. Inside, he finds Dr. Colley waiting for him. But instead of secret experiments, Teddy is confronted with the truth about himself. Carly tells him that Rachel Solando never existed. Chuck then appears and reveals that he is actually Dr. Lester Sheehan, Teddy's psychiatrist. The entire investigation was an elaborate roleplay created by the doctors to help Teddy confront reality. Teddy Daniels is not his real identity. He is actually Andrew Laeddis, a former U.S. Marshal and a patient at Ashecliffe. His wife, Dolores, was mentally ill and drowned their 3 children. After discovering what she had done, Andrew shot and killed her. Unable to live with the guilt, he created an alternate identity where he was a heroic marshal investigating a case instead of a man destroyed by his own tragedy. The doctors explained that they had tried this treatment before and that Andrew had briefly accepted the truth, but then regressed back into his fantasy. This is his final chance. If he slips back again, he will be lobotomized. Later, Andrew appears calm and lucid on the hospital grounds with Dr. Sheehan, but then he calls him Chuck and talks about needing to escape the island, making it seem like he has slipped back into Teddy Daniels' persona. Sheehan signals to Colley, and the orderlies come to take Andrew away for the lobotomy. Before leaving, Andrew asks Sheehan one haunting question. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? Sheehan realizes Andrew may not have regressed at all. He may be choosing to forget. Andrew walks away peacefully, leaving the ending open to whether he is truly delusional again or whether he would rather lose himself than keep living with the truth. Roll credits.
So now we have Daniels, and he's taking a shower, and he's going to slip away. We see him trying to get his regular clothes back that he had, his tie and such.
One thing I noticed about this is, earlier on he had issues with water. Do you notice how he's accepting water now? He's taking the shower, and when he goes to swim to the lighthouse and all that, it's now that that fear has gone. So again, symbolizing he's moving closer towards the truth.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I like how he wants to get to the lighthouse, and he has to cause a diversion. So
before he gets outside, though, he has that moment with Dr. Nehring, and we see him go into his pocket, and he grabs a syringe from him.
And he sedates him, because that's what they were going to do to Leo. And he goes outside.
He's confronted by Dolores, and she's like, don't do this. Don't go. But he's my partner.
And she keeps telling him, you're not going to like what you find, dickhead. But he doesn't listen.
Well, the little girl shows up again, too.
And she's like, you could have fucking saved us, but you didn't, dick.
I like how he makes a comment. It's kind of a dick move to say, this is a fucking ugly tie. I love that you gave it to me, but it's a fucking ugly tie.
That was cute. Because he used the tie to blow up Ben Kingsley's car.
Which is why you don't give patients matches.
Exactly. And so as the car blows up, everyone runs to it. Oh, what's wrong? And he runs up to the lighthouse.
So he gets up onto the shoreline, and there's a guard, and he's taking a piss, and he takes his rifle.
Judo chop. I love how the Kingsley upstairs asked, I hope you didn't hurt him too bad.
What'd you do to the guard? Did you fuck him up?
Looking at all those stairs, when we see the office eventually, I'm thinking, did all of that furniture have to come up those stairs?
Yes. And they probably had to put them on like little rowboats, because you're right, there was no walkable path. So again, that's what I thought of when he jumped in was, fuck, he's got to swim.
Oh, I keep thinking again, this is all, parts of it are all in his head, like the stairs and the fact that there's no way to get to the lighthouse. Ben Kingsley, is he going to, obviously he took a boat or something? I mean, there had to be a way to get to the lighthouse.
Oh, he took a boat.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So the lighthouse is real. All of those stairs are real. He had to climb them.
So he hears something on the other side of the door. He bangs it open, and there's the doctor calmly sitting there at the desk, and he's, why are you all wet, baby?
That really,
why
again,
did you say that?
I had to rewind that and I'm like, why did he just call him baby? Is he going to see his wife in him or something?
I don't know. Maybe, who knows why.
Or was every time he saw his wife, was that really Ben Kingsley role-playing his wife?
No.
I know, it's like those things I jumped to.
No, I took it I took it as it is getting him right to the moment that he breaks. He's taking him to the edge of his truth that broke him.
And it was something that he would definitely know because this isn't the first time that he's gone through the Matrix.
Exactly.
And so he thought maybe, and it also puts us, the audience, off guard as well. Like,
here comes the reveal.
yeah, it's coming, right? And Leo gets in his face, and Ben Kingsley's like, okay, calm down. Here's what's really going on. And he tells him that he is Andrew Laeddis.
You've been a patient here for the last 2 years.
And you killed your wife because she killed your kids.
We're shown the big whiteboard or whatever it is, the chalkboard.
To explain the rule
to
of
reveal the Rule of 4, which is Andrew is an anagram of Teddy and his name, and the wife's Rachel is an anagram of Dolores, her name. Which I'm wondering, Andrew created the anagram of his own name. I wonder if they created the anagram of Rachel to Dolores and created that Rule of 4 to try to help him.
Well, it depends on who created Rachel. Was it them or was it him?
Well, that's what I think. I think they created Rachel to show him kind of they could play that game too.
Well, I suppose.
And then they also reveal, or he kind of comes to that conclusion, I don't know, that he is patient 67.
Yeah, well, he says, your name is Andrew Laeddis, the 67th patient at Ashecliffe. It is you, Andrew, that beat up George Noyce. And because of his violence that he was showing towards George, that's what has forced others to think you should be lobotomized.
What? Do you remember why he beat up George?
Because he called him by his true name, Andrew, and not by Teddy.
Exactly.
And Leo's like, nah, this is bullshit. And Dr. Cowley's like, well, here's your intake paper that Chuck gave you, but you didn't want to read. And it really is his intake, and it kind of explains everything. And then he starts to ask about Chuck, and in walks Chuck.
Yep, he just walks in, and he's just like, hello, boss. And then, holy shit, I've been your psychiatrist for the last 2 years. Lester Sheehan? Oh.
Yeah, see, that I didn't see coming. And this whole role-playing bit, like it's real, and it's really happening. And I really struggled with that for a second because I was thinking, okay, if they set everything up, how the fuck they get him on the ferry? How the fuck they do this? How the fuck they do that? And I thought, oh, wait, if he's a patient, they probably just sedated him. They put him on the ferry, like went out for 5 minutes.
It looped around,
gave him some leftover clothes. Why it was all baggy. And then I went, okay, I like it.
That's why the partner met him on the boat.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
right.
First time.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the last bunch of weeks, he wakes up and he's Teddy Daniels.
That's right.
I thought also maybe because they drugged him, put him on that boat in the beginning, that's why he's throwing up in the toilet. It's all that medicine.
Oh, possibly. Or he's going through withdrawals.
Yeah,
probably, maybe.
And so with that, after we find that out, this is where we have Dr. Cowley. He says, you've had the run of the place for 2 days. Where are the Nazi experiments? The satanic awars? And it's just like, oh, shit.
He also makes the comment of, and I really liked that car.
You blew up my fucking car, guy.
Yeah. And so with that, it's like, okay, because before I was thinking they're trying to trap him like a rabbit in a snare, and he's not going to get off the island. Holy shit, he's going to be washed away.
And you think that everything that the island is doing is for nefarious reasons.
Yes.
But what is really happening is Dr. Cawley's like, I don't want you to get lobotomized. I've seen what happens. It doesn't help. But you got to break through. You got to accept the truth. You got to do this. And then we get the flashback.
Well, we also, Dr. Cawley, I think his name, he put it all out right in the beginning when he said he didn't believe in drugging patients or drugs to help the patients. He believed in helping them work through their things. So he said in the beginning, all of this, all this role play stuff is one of his techniques.
Which is why I thought Dr. Crawley was one of the good guys. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to look like the bad guy, but he is actually trying to help him. And even Sheehan, right? They're trying to help Teddy.
They are very sympathetic towards him.
And then, this fucking scene where it's the actual flashback.
Well, what'd you think of, I think right before that, when he tries to shoot the doctor?
And that was a great moment too, because we feel like that Cowley's making a breakthrough, and he's like, "We're on the front lines here. We're on the front lines of the war here, old boy." And then you get that shot where he's saying that, and Kingsley's head is in right frame, and DiCaprio's shoulder is in left frame, and right in the middle is his service weapon sitting on the desk.
And he manages to grab it. And
Doesn't the doctor say, "Go ahead and shoot me"?
he does, and he does shoot it, and we see blood. It looked fake, and then
A second later, the bullet holes are gone.
well, because what's his name?
the blood is
Sheehan says it's not loaded, right? So that whole shooting the doctor was all in Leo's head.
And it was a toy gun.
Right.
Oh, that's right. It was. Yeah, it was a toy gun.
They broke it. He broke it in half.
That's right.
So it's like, okay.
Yep. And so
We get the dream.
this was fucking difficult to watch, and I think that Leo sells it 1,000%. And it's at this point I'm kind of thinking, how fucking depressing.
Well, it's really stark right before we get there. Because this is where he lunges at Sheehan, and he's got him in a stranglehold. And then Cowley comes back with the pictures, and he shoves the pictures of his kids
Dead
right
kids,
up in his face. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. And then, it was fucking depressing.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, and we knew that when he went into the street sequence, we knew what we were going to see because they had just described exactly what had happened to him.
They've been describing it throughout the entire fucking
so we
movie.
knew he was coming home to find that his wife had drowned the kids. And I expected, because they had mentioned that, for Rachel, she had taken the kids and put them at the table and was preparing dinner. I expected that's where we were going to see the kids. I didn't expect him to go out in the yard and just see the bodies floating out in the lake.
Oh, well, I'm glad, as horrible as this sounds, I'm glad we got what we got, because them around the table would have been 1,000 times worse.
Did you catch that she said,
Million
let's
times
go put them
creepier.
at the
Yeah,
table?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he, is like, "Where are you? Where?" And he sees her just sitting out there, and he's like, "Baby, why are you all wet?" And then it's just like, here we go.
Did you catch, and it was kind of, they mentioned it kind of a couple of times. It was very subtle, but what it was that, the little girl kept trying to tell him over and over again, which is she had burned down their original apartment, and that he kind of knew she was having mental problems at that time, but he chose to ignore her mental issues and move them out to the country and just pretended like nothing had happened. And because of ignoring her mental issues, it led to the kids being drowned.
Yeah.
So he blamed himself completely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That kind of smacks you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And so, yeah, and you get that little bit where, she says, let's put them at the table, we'll dry them off, change their clothes. And then, he's like,
he's crying, they're hugging, and then
tomorrow we can take them on a picnic. And then she's like, set me free.
and then bang.
Yeah, that was the one that took me a little surprise when she said, "Set me free." I'm like, oh, that's why he shot her.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I couldn't even fucking imagine. And that bang, the shot actually scared me because I forgot it was coming. And there it is. And yeah, now she's dead. And now he's got to deal with his dead wife and his dead kids.
And so now we're back on Shutter Island, and it's Andrew. Can you hear me?
And this is where the doc and all of them are like, we need to hear you say this. We need to hear you say you're okay. And for all intents purposes, he does. He says, I'm Andrew Laeddis. I killed my wife. She killed our kids. I created this fabrication. I'm better now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, oh, okay, cool, right? No, it's not.
And so Callie, he's like, well, okay, but 9 months ago, you broke through, but you regressed. And you're like a tape that's playing over and over again in an endless loop. I need to know you've really accepted reality.
And he says, yeah, I do. I've got it. I'm good. And then the next morning,
It looks all pleasant. You hear the birds chirping.
the
It looks
sun's
nice.
out because he's accepted the truth.
And he's sitting on the step.
He's sitting on the steps and
Sheehan, he shows up, pleasantries, and, a cigarette. And so what's our next move? You tell me.
yep.
Chuck.
And then he looks, Sheehan looks at the other guys and shakes his head like, nope, it didn't take. And so up come the orderlies and everybody.
You hear
it's
the-
lobotomy time.
But you notice
You hear the clinking of the metal underneath.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But then he also does deliver this line, right? Which would be worse, to live as a monster or die as a good man? So you or the viewer are left to ask the question, does he really think he is Teddy still, or is he just given up? Because, I mean, what the fuck?
I mean,
Right.
he delivers a line and then walks peacefully with them towards
Yeah.
the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Did you catch there was one other anagram in this movie besides the 4 that we were given?
You mean the name of the movie?
The name of the movie is an anagram for truth and lies.
There you go.
So to have them walking away together, you get that ominous music, and then we're down at the shoreline, and then the camera pans to the right, and it shows us the lighthouse, and you're like, oh.
Oh, I was like, oh, as soon as they started walking away.
Yeah.
I knew what's happening, and he's
Exactly.
accepted it. And
Exactly.
which I'm thinking, God damn it, Martin.
But
How fucking depressing was that?
But then if you think about it, could you live with it? Or would you rather just have them fuck up your mind?
Oh, I don't know. That is a weird thing to think about.
Yeah, it was, again, it's kind of the movies I like that's a thinker.
Yeah.
my O part at the end that I'm talking about is how the lighthouse is symbolic about, it has been put out there that the lighthouse represents a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just found that interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's fucked, but maybe he wanted to be fucked.
Yeah.
That's where I lean, is that he
Me too.
was sane, but he has just decided, as he put it, he can't live with the idea of what happened in being a monster.
And I agree with that as well. But, Scorsese has gone on the record saying it's ambiguous. See it how you want to see it. And for me, that's how I want to see it. He just decided to give up. It was just too much. What a miserable fucking life. Poor guy.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
He just seen too much.
And that was Shutter Island. All right, what do you guys think? You guys ready to rate this flick?
I'm ready to rate this flick. How about you, John? Are you ready to rate this flick?
Yes, but I'm not actually sure I watched the movie, or I just believe I did.
Hey, Professor, how do we do our ratings?
We do our ratings on a scale of 1 to 5 fucks. 5 fucks is a movie that we think is cinematic gold. A 1 fuck movie is you get done watching it and you're thinking, I am never watching that again.
And what's a 0?
A 0 fuck movie, you get done watching it, you turn to your buddy and you're like, oh, for shit's sake, what the hell? Why would you make me? I want 2 hours and 18 minutes of my life back.
Or in other words, we just don't give a fuck. Whose movie was this?
I think it was John's.
You said last week was mine. You said Goldfinger was mine. Why don't you go first?
I'll go first. Shutter Island, I think, is a really good Martin Scorsese film. I think it is a thinker. I was very happy with the twist, though kind of a spin on all the other twists that we have come to know and love. But it was kind of the first time where it was the role play aspect, and it wasn't necessarily all in his head. He wasn't already dead. It wasn't a dream. You know what I'm getting at. I thought it was a very interesting choice not to use a musical score. The needle drops that Scorsese chose to use were very good. I think that the cinematography was very pretty. Over the years, I've become more of a Leo fan, and I think he did very well in this film. Though a little reminiscent to Inception, I'll give you that. But 2 different movies, and that's a different podcast for a different time. Overall, I'm giving Shutter Island 3.75 fucks.
Would you like me to go next?
Sure, why not?
Okay, but before I do, Don, what's my rating going to be?
You've
been doing pretty good lately.
Oh, you just fucking jinxed me. You know that? You're going to give Shutter Island, you like thinkers. There were things that you question. You believe the theories. I'm going to say, same as me, 3.75 fucks.
Even though I already knew most of the big twists going into Shutter Island, the movie still kept me engaged because getting there was the real journey. It's fun watching it unfold and looking for the clues, and honestly, some of them jumped out even when I wasn't specifically looking for them. Like the missing glass of water. Leonardo DiCaprio does a great job playing a man slowly unraveling on the edge, even if his baby face sometimes keeps me from fully buying into the role. Mark Ruffalo was okay, but not a huge standout for me. Ben Kingsley really shines near the end, though he feels underused, and Max von Sydow deserved way more screen time. But the setting, the visuals, and the atmosphere were all spectacular, which is pure Scorsese. Overall, it's a good movie with real, rewatchable value. It's for those reasons I'm giving Shutter Island a solid 4.25 out of 5 fucks.
Wow, I am fucking impressed, sir. 4.25 fucks from the comic book guy. What did you say your favorite Scorsese was? Goodfellas, right?
I think Goodfellas.
Okay. You're up there, Psycho, sir,
Okay.
friend,
Yes.
pal,
Okay.
Has he been
Joshua.
lobotomized?
bro.
He's so calm.
Who?
Professor over there.
Well, he just got back from Ward C.
Yeah.
Not from the lighthouse?
Fuck, I don't know. Did you see him go there?
Shutter Island is a great Scorsese movie. This movie is something that I think Leonardo DiCaprio really shines in. I am glued to every time that he is on the screen, watching him as he is this little ball of intensity with everything that he does. And the character is written to be extremely smart. And so when he picks up on the subtleness of things, for example, when he is interviewing the patient, and she happens to say the same thing that Dr. Cowley says in explaining Rachel. When they are when they are listening to the doctors talking to each other about having the patients chained to the floor or not in the upcoming potential hurricane that's going to show up, and he does the math and he says 66. That's 66 patients. Where's the 67th patient? Where's the missing girl? She should be patient number 67. And so it's like, okay, man, he is like super sharp. And so I really enjoy having him reveal to us just how savvy he is of an investigator. And my head, I am probably firmly in Daniel's corner through probably well into the second act. It's deep in the second act before I begin to have doubts about him. Before that, I'm thinking that they are going to cover up whatever it is that he's trying to uncover by making him a permanent patient at this institution. So it's like, oh boy, he's never going to get out of here because they want to keep him quiet. Holy shit. But then once the wheels come off the wagon and we realize that, okay, no, he has slipped. He has definitely slipped. And once that happens, when we get to the third act, it's just like, whoa, this is so intense. What a mind fuck. And so by the time we get to the end of the movie and we have him sitting on the steps and he is, moments away from having his fate being decided, if he's, you wonder, how's this going to play out? And then, oh man, he is back to being Daniels. Ouch. Okay. And there we go. Oh man, what a downer movie. But I get it because, he is somebody that suffered heavily with, his PTS from World War II, and then having to lose his entire family in one stroke. It happens immediately. He gets home, the children are dead, and then he kills his wife. Okay. That it's just too much for him to climb out of that hole. I can appreciate that point and the suffering that the character endures, and that's why he has this, alternate, identity. I get it, and by the time you're at the end, it's just like, okay, you know what? He is just tired, and so maybe he does know. I kind of think that he does know, and he just decides, let's just, slip me off to La La Land, and I won't have to sit here and suffer anymore. And so it's a rather cruel and bittersweet ending for me, but it is richly put together, and Scorsese does a beautiful job. It looks so pretty, and looking at the estate and having all of these different buildings, I'm looking at this like, man, where did they film all this? Because this looks awesome. I think that this is probably going to have to be a 4.25 fuck movie for me.
4.25 fucks from the comic book guy and the professor, and 4.25 fucks from the professor, with 4.25 fucks from the professor and the comic book guy, and 3.75 fucks from yours truly. That gives Shutter Island an average of 4.1 fuck, which now puts it in the 12th spot with Clerks 3, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Big Fish, The Fifth Element, Violent Night, Spider-Man No Way Home, Rudy, Meet the Parents, and The Sandlot. It is slightly better than Sinners, The 33, Clerks 2, Zombieland, Dodgeball, The Thing, Edge of Tomorrow, The Batman, Tombstone, V for Vendetta, The Iron Giant, Jojo Rabbit, and Greyhound. And it is slightly worse than It's a Wonderful Life, Scream, The Big Lebowski, The Breakfast Club, Top Gun Maverick, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Casino Royale. So there you have it, boys. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Guys in a Flick. If you would like to know which movie we're going to be reviewing next, please check out the newly updated website. Speaking of which, hey, John, where can they find us?
You can find us at Three Guys in a Flick, where you can find all of our show notes. You can all of our ratings, and there's a form on there that you can leave us a movie that you'd like us to review. There's also a section on there that you can leave us a voicemail, in fact, that we will play on the show. You can also find us at all of social media, where on Tuesdays, I've been announcing what movie episode we are releasing on that following Thursday, and you can find us at anywhere that hosts podcasts.
Speaking of voicemails, John, have we received one?
We did. We received one this week from Brandon S.
Hey, Three Guys. My name is Brandon. I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your guys' show. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now. I do a lot of driving at work, and flipping through my music playlist gets boring sometimes. So I always just kind of throw on an episode of your guys' show, either a new one that I haven't listened to or an old one that I have. Like, I've listened to the Jaws one a couple times, the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've listened to all those a couple times. And it's always just a good time hearing you guys go back and forth with each other and your banter that you guys have with each other. But I have to call out Don real quick, because in the Sinners pod, which I actually just re-listened to today, he said that the only reason he wasn't giving Sinners 5 fucks was because at the end battle, we saw more humans than we should have to up the kill count. But Don, if you look real closely in some of the scenes, especially where they're making the wooden stakes or they're eating the garlic, you can see those people in the background. They're kind of out of focus, but you can tell it's not any of the main cast members. So I'm going to need you to raise that rating up to a 5 fuck movie. But all jokes aside, I love listening to you guys every week. And keep up the good work, and I'll keep listening to you guys.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for the comments. And you know what, bud? I am going to go back and I am going to take a look. I don't think it's going to bump it up to a 5, but thank you for pointing that out. I do appreciate it.
And I do love anytime that Don is proven wrong.
And for the record, you can go fuck yourself too. How about that? Okay?
Are you telling me to fuck myself, or are you telling Brandon to fuck himself?
It's open to interpretation.
Oh, you beat me by half a second. All kidding aside.
I am very appreciative of Brandon's message.
So am I. Thanks, Brandon. We appreciate the kind words. Keep listening. And actually, Brandon has quite a few movies in the Broncos helmet still that we haven't even got to. So we look forward to that. I also want to thank Terry S., PJL, and Ariana R. for putting Shutter Island into the Broncos helmet. We had a lot of fun watching it and reviewing it. We hope you have a lot of fun listening to it. I also want to thank anyone who listens and who has requested a movie. If you keep listening, we'll keep recording. For Three Guys in a Flick, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening.
We gotta get off this rock.
3 guys with some mics, yeah, dive into the flicks. We're here for the real talk, no time for the tricks. Don as the captain, steering us right. Kid drops, now they're shedding light. John with the comics, bringing the hype. From the good, the bad, to the absurd, we break it down, make sure you heard. Passion for the screen, we ride or die about movies. We always give a fuck, no lie.
No, it's fine.
I like it.
Why do you assume I hate everything?
Because you do. Okay, what would you think if I did that to you? And I did a gesture, listeners.
I think it's just fine.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be all upset. You'd be mad. I also want to thank... This is what I get for fucking...
For fucking around?
For fucking around. Clear filter. There. God damn it.
It's the longest closing ever.
I know. And listen to me. I'm like, come on, guys. We got to fucking hurry up. How does the alphabet work? ST, right? Son of a bitch.
ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKGIHGFEDCD.
There it is. Okay. All right. It's time. How many you got?
1.
I got a few. But
I got
they're not great.
like 4.
Well,
all right.
let's
Go
go
ahead.
to the professor, the winner. Right here.
Okay. Go ahead, bud.
Shutter dildo.
Huh. Not what I expected. I don't know if I would classify that the winner quite yet, but, we'll give it some time.
I had sputter in her.
What? You know what? I don't even want to know. I had Slutty Island.
I had sex her island.
I had Spitting Island.
Spooge island.
And this is like one of the 2 winners that I have. Squirting Island.
It's not bad. My last one, Cunter island.
Oh, I was going to use that too. But I went with Swallow Island.
Professor, who's the winner?
Yeah, what do we got, bud?
Your first one.
Slutty Island?
Slutty Island.
4.5?
4 fucks. I'm sorry. My apologies. 4 tissues.
On the Jerkin scale, I'll go with 4.25 again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 4.5 because who doesn't love Slutty Island? Am I right or am I right?
I'd vacation there.
Yeah.
And may all your days and nights be filled with happiness. All right, fuck off. Good night.
As 3 guys in a flick, keep the passion alive.